Now I will discuss about the Laravel queue. Laravel queue is a feature provided by the Laravel framework for handling the time-consuming tasks in the background. Queues are particularly useful for the tasks that may take a long time to complete, such as sending emails, uh, processing images, or performing complex calculation, etc. By offloading these tasks to a queue, you can improve the responsiveness of your application and provide a better user experience. I will show you how to work with the queue and then you will understand. For example, in a case you have thousands of students and you want to send an email to all the students when a new post will be created. So if you create a new post, 1000 emails will be sent to the students. So in this case, if you want to send the emails normally using your Laravel application, then each email will take some times. For example, to send one email you need 2 or 3 seconds. So in this case you will have to wait for a long until the process is completed and you will not be able to do any other task with your application in that moment. So in this type of cases you can just put the emails into queue so that you can save the queue connection as database so that all the emails just will send to the students one after another, and in that moment you can do any other task, no problem. So I am going to show you how to work with that so that you can understand. If you go to the config folder, you will see that there is a queue.php file. Here you see the default queue connection given here is sync, and here are all available connection given. One is sync, another one is database, then there are many other things. Now the default driver is sync, but I will use the database and the table will be jobs table. So in this case what I will do, I will not change it from here. I am going to the .env file. After a fresh Laravel installation, you will see that in the env file there is a queue connection. This is default sync. Here I will change it, that is database. Okay, so this is my first task to complete. Okay, now I will set up my mail trap here because I will send email so that you can understand. So in this case what I will do, I am going to open my mail trap account. This is a fresh mail trap inbox, and from here I will take the credentials. So this is my host name. I am putting my mail host, this one, and then there is a port. I can use any port here. Then there is username. I am going to copy the username from here and use here. I am then going to copy the password, and that one I am going to bring here, and this one is TLS, for example the encryption, and mail from address is hello@example.com is okay. Now I am going to change the database is okay, that will be created. The newly created database name will be Laravel, username root, password is root in my case. So it is okay. Now what I will do, after setting up the email configuration, queue configuration and the database settings from the .env file, I am going to close it. I am now going to create another thing, that is I am going to the terminal. You see that there is no table created or no database is found here. Now I am going to call php artisan queue table. If I run this command php artisan queue table, you will see that a migration file will come into the database folder migrations. You see that create jobs table, by this name a file is created. So here after creating these files, you see that this is the jobs and all the fields are given here. I will not touch this file. I will just run php artisan migrates so that the table is created. So first it is telling that there is no database, so it asks me to create a database by the name Laravel. I press yes, and then you will see that the database and tables will be created. I am going to refresh. You see that this is the database and all the tables are given here. So this is actually my jobs table. You see that queue, payload, attempts, reserve at, available at, etc. given here. So when I will try to insert a data in the queue, then it will be processed here. That means it will be saved here. And then when I will run the command to send the emails to all students, then this queue will start the processing, and the attempts, first time the attempts, when the data will be saved here, the attempts will be 0, but when I will start processing, the attempts will be 1, and until the process is finished. For example, here one data is added and it is waiting for sending emails. When I will just click on sending emails, attempt will be from 0 to 1, but the data will be here still then until the sending email task is done. So if you want to send all the emails to the students, for example thousands of students, then this queue will be processed and one by one email will be started to be sent. So when all the email sending task is completed, then it will automatically delete the row and you will see that the jobs table empty. So how it works, I will show you. Now after doing it, so I am going to close this one. I will not need that. Okay. Now I am going to my route and web.php route. Okay. So here I will create in order to test if email goes or not. Here I will create a controller. For example, test controller class and function I will use index. Okay. So in the top I will use app controllers, app http controllers, then is test controller. So I am going to create a controller now. PHP artisan make controller test controller. I am now going to create two tables. I will have one table, that is students table. So all the students information will be saved there, and another table I will use here, that is post table. That means when I will create a new post, the data will be saved into the database into the post table, and in the same time from the students table it will take all the students email, and to each student it will send the email that a new post has been published. So in order to do that, what I am going to do here, I am going to create two model, PHP artisan make model, and for example one is the student model and another model I am going to create, that is post model. Also I will create migration files for the students. So make migration, create students table, and another file I will create, that is create posts table. So let's go to the database migrations. This is students and this is posts. In the post table I will just add for example some content here, post title. I am not going to give anything. You can give a lot of other things, for example content or others, but I am not going to put anything here. So string table, this string title, I am going to copy it from here, and in the student I will have to give two fields, for example name and email. So name, and this one is email. Now I am going to migrate these two items. So PHP artisan migrate. So these two tables should be created now. So I am going to my database. I am going to reload it. You see that posts and students two table comes. So I am going to open both. There is no information. So students table, no information. I am going to manually insert some data. For example, first student is student1@mail.com. For example, this is the email. So student1 is the student name and this is the student mail. So this is first student. Another student is student2 and mail is student2@mail.com. Then I am going to add another student, for example student3, and here is student3@mail.com, like this. Go. I am going to add student4 here is student4@mail.com, and another student, that is student5, and here will be student5@mail.com. so I add total 5 students. Okay, so here 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, fine. Now I will create I actually do not need to create any post. Student is okay. I will start creating post when I will send the email. Now, so total there are 3 tables, you see, and this is my application. Now I am going to close this one, and in my controller, okay, I am going to my controller now. So app http controllers, and this is test controller. So here I will run public function index. But before going to write any code in controller, what actually controller will do, in the controller I will write the code to send, to create a post and then send email. Okay, but before going to there, I am just going to create a job. So here I will use here in terminal, that is php artisan, and then I will create a job. So command is make job. Who is job? For example, post notification I am going to send. So send post notification. So by this name I am going to create a job. Now you see that into the app folder there is a jobs folder created, and this is the file to send the post notification. And here I will need to create, to send the email, I will need to create a mailable, that is make mail. You know already, because I showed in one of the previous lecture how to send email. So that code I will write here, that is make mail, and this is for example post notification. So this is the mail. Okay, so if I run this, what will happen? There will be a mail folder and a post notification file comes. So in the post notification files, what I will actually do, here you already see every code are given here. Okay, I am not going to change. Subject is post notification, so each student will see this this subject. I have no problem, or you can change it here, new post created, something like that. And this is the content. In the view I am going to give the view name email. So I am going to create a view here, email.blade.php. So I can straight call this email, and here each student will see a common message. For example, a new post is created for you. Okay, something like that. I will check if this thing is showing in my email body or not. So I set up it, view is my email that I created it. Okay, so here I do not need to do any other things. In this case I am going to close it. Now I will have to write the code into the send post notification. So this is very important. In the top here I am going to use the mail. To send email I need this, and another one is need, that is app. Then in the mail I post notification, right, post notification. So I link this file because I will need that in order to send the email. So post notification is the email class, so I put it here, and I will do here something in the handle method. So all the tasks I will do that into the handle method. So here I will send the email to all the students using a loop. So I will need the student. So app models, I will need the student model. So I call it to the top. And in the handle method, I will just take all the students from my database. For example, you know, to get all the students, I use like this. So here students equal to like this. So from the database, I am going to get all individual students now. So students as, for example, students singular form, and then here what I will do, I will send the email to wall. So email to, and then you know we use a send function, right? And send function is new, you know, post notification is my function. So I call the post notification to the top, so I can call it here. So its object I am going to create here. So the email will be sent to each student. So in the student table, the email is the field. So I will get all student email using this variable, that is student email. Now the email will be sent using this, the handle. Okay. So here actually my all tasks are done, nothing is left here. Okay. Now I am going to the controller. In the controller, what I will do, in the controller I am going to write the main code. So in the top, for example, I am going to create a new post. So I need to call app models, then post model, because I will create a new post. So I am going to create an object of the new post, that is object equal to this. Then I will send the data. So I will save the data, object title equal to new post. Okay, and then the save method I will have to call. So if I call this, what will happen? So if I call the index function of the test controller, then a new post will be created, and in the same time, using the post notification handle method, I will save the data into where, in this way I will send the email. Okay, but it will save a data first using the job table and save the information in the job table. Then it will start processing this one. But here what I will have to use, here another thing I will have to tell, that is send post notification. I will have to use the send post notifications dispatch method in order to dispatch the command. Simple. And in the top I will have to call this job, that is use, where is the job, jobs table is this. So use app jobs and then send post notification. So I will call this, and using the dispatch it will be here. Here you can just show something that email is sent. So normally if you wanted to send the email, you will see that a long time was needed, but in this case what will happen, I am going to show you. But here, in order to run this thing, my task is almost complete. In order to run this thing, I will need another command in the terminal. For example, now what is my web.php root? Okay, I am going to call it. You see that email is sent. So what is happened, if you go to the jobs table, you will see that a new queue has been added here, that is default queue. This is the payload. If you want to show the information, the payload information is here like this, and there is attempts, because it did not started to run any attempt, so attempt is 0, and reserved at is null. Available at when it was created and available etc. are given here. Now what I will do, I will start processing. How I can start processing? And also I open that, you see that there is no email still now. Okay, so in to all my students, student 1 2 3 4 5, the email will be sent and a new post will be added here. So these two tasks will be started. Now I am going to run from the terminal the queue work. So php artisan queue work. If you run this command, you see that already it is running. That means what is happened, if you go to this table, see that attempts is 1, that means it started to work. If you go here, you see one by one the email will come. You see that 4 email come, wait for something, yes, 5 emails come. That means to the 5 students, one by one email is sending. Again I am going to show you, and as you see, to all the 5 students as the email are sent, if I go here now, refresh, you see that the data is empty. It automatically clears the row. And if I go here, you see that when the running started and in the 12th second it is done. So my task is completed. Now if I just close it again, close it, yes, clear the data, like this. Okay, now I will do that again another time so that you can understand again. So let's check it. I'm going to show you another thing, that in the previous case the new post was added here. Same thing I will do. So refresh, you see that email is sent. Email is sent means the payload, it is coming here, right? The jobs is added here, and the post is also created, but the email sending is not still started. You see here is no email, right? No new email comes. Now if I run this, that is PHP artisan queue work, then you will see the starting sending email will be started. I am going to narrow down my window so that you can understand. So here I will just enter and you will check the inbox here. Enter. Now you see after some seconds it will send one email, then after some seconds another email. You see that one email comes. After a few seconds it will again try, another email comes, and the last one again it will come after some times. You see that? Yes, now total 5 email is sent, and each student is seeing this one that you wrote into your blade file. So I hope you have understood the main thing that queue does.